So, Monday, in Sapporo, little kaiju monster, whatever you are called. I am a big tiger!
Shoko Nakajima debuts in a 3-minute exhibition match against Kana. Despite Shoko's fire, she is clearly in over her head, with Kana handily pinning and submitting her. Still, Shoko's enthusiasm is commendable, and just like Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, Shoko is just getting started. Her small stature allows for quick bursts of powerful offense, and many of her opponents underestimate her, allowing Shoko to catch them off guard. She forms a close bond with Yuka Sakazaki, the two having debuted together around the same time. Their history in comedy is used as the two start most shows together with a light-hearted opening, and the two are often seen in tag matches together. As the new year begins, Shoko steps it up, becoming undefeated in singles competition, leading up to Tokyo Joshi's first tournament, the Princess Cup. Shoko makes it all the way to the finals, even beating Miyu Yamashita. Unfortunately, Shoko is unable to overcome the overwhelming power of the Boinkmaker, making the K-Cup talent the first winner of the Princess Cup. Shoko tries not to let the loss get to her, and continues improving in time for next year's Princess Cup, but one more thorn would come into Shoko's side. Sakisama has found the wrestling in Tokyo Joshi to be far too ugly for her liking. She recruits disillusioned wrestlers to join her stable, creating Bishiki-gun. The faction runs amok in Tokyo Joshi, defeating the main event of Tokyo Joshi and crushing the undercard. But Shoko can't get discouraged or distracted by Sakisama's reign of terror, as her first match in the Princess Cup is against Nonoko, the person who beat Shoko in the finals of last year's Princess Cup. Nonoko once again sets up the Boinkmaker. Shoko's dedication and training pays off as she quickly counters and hits the Northern Lights suplex, securing the victory. A hard fight may be behind her now, but that was only the first round, and her next opponent is Sakisama's acolyte, Kana. Since joining with Sakisama, Kana has gained a great amount of strength. For the majority of the match, Shoko is on the defensive, and it was only with a quick Northern Lights that Shoko was able to win. Shoko makes it to the finals of the Princess Cup, but the next match is the same night. Her opponent is Akane Miura, who dwarfs Shoko in size and stature. In a one-on-one face-off, Shoko can't stand up to Akane's power, so Shoko does her best to tire Akane by applying various holds. But as soon as Akane slips away, she hits Shoko with multiple slams and power moves. After a top rope rider kick, Shoko lands a Northern Light suplex, but incredibly, Akane kicks out. Shoko goes for another rider kick, but Akane counters. Shoko's chances are slowly slipping away. Whenever she would attempt an offensive sequence, Akane would overpower her and land a damaging attack. In a desperate ending sequence, Shoko combos the rider kick into the 619 and then finishes with a Northern Light suplex. As Yuka dives into the ring to check on her friend, Shoko raises her hand and trophy as the winner of the Princess Cup. With her newfound confidence, she calls out Sakisama and challenges her to a match. Sakisama agrees, and the match is scheduled for next month. Sakisama has stood unopposed up to this point, beating and humiliating wrestlers since appearing in Tokyo Joshi. She has already converted some of the girls to her side. If Sakisama is left unopposed, she could very easily poison Tokyo Joshi with her values. Sakisama clearly doesn't see Shoko as a threat. She cockingly feigns an attack while Shoko is on the ropes and smirks as she steps away from Shoko, and gestures again when Shoko attempts to hit Sakisama when the roles are reversed. The height advantage is a clear problem for Shoko, Sakisama towering over her, making it difficult for Shoko to apply holds. Those legs are also powerful striking tools, so Shoko gets to work on taking down Sakisama's vertical base. Shoko's small frame and kinetic offense catches Sakisama off guard, but Sakisama's power is still overwhelming, and with Sakisama being frustrated that Shoko even thinks she could win, begins to punish Shoko on the outside. And as the rest of the girls that Bishiki-gun tormented cheer on Shoko, she is able to hit the rider kick, 619 and Northern Light suplex, but Sakisama manages to kick out. Shoko attempts a rider kick off the top rope, but Sakisama counters into an avalanche suplex. She then hits Shoko with a combination of strikes and sets up the Academy Award kick. But Shoko quickly dodges and captures Sakisama in a cradle. Shoko pins Sakisama, the first and only person in the history of Tokyo Joshi to do so. Sakisama is in shock, and whilst being consoled by the rest of Bishiki-gun, faints and has to be carried backstage. As Shoko celebrates, Senshiro Takagi, one of the owners of DDT, Tokyo Joshi's sibling promotion, comes out to deliver a big announcement. Tokyo Joshi will be holding a show on January 4th at Kurikan Hall, the biggest arena Tokyo Joshi has performed in up to this point. And to top it off, the main event will be a singles match to crown the first Princess of Princess champion. Shoko was given a contract for her position in the main event, but has to defend it until the day of the show. Unfortunately, she loses to Miura, who beats Shoko in a three-way with Hyper Misao. Miyu then beats Miura and holds onto the contract. Shoko needing to win a battle royale against 10 other wrestlers to secure her spot in the main event, thus setting the stage for the match to decide the first champion. Shoko comes out in a brand new gear. Shoko had always been a fan of Daikaiju films, and so has transformed herself into a kaiju of her own, so she can borrow the power of those powerful beasts and become the first champion of the company. Shoko's game plan is to attack Miyu's legs to reduce Miyu's effective striking. She adeptly dodges Miyu's kicks and continues the offense. Shoko climbs the top rope to hit a senton and then attempts the Northern Lights, but the damage to Miyu isn't as severe as Shoko would have liked. She tries to finish too early, and this allowed Miyu to hit the attitude adjustment, a German suplex, and finally the Crash Rabbit Heat to win, and become the first champion of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Miyu attempts to console Shoko and goes for the handshake, but Shoko avoids it, frustratingly raising Miyu's arm. Shoko knew where she went wrong. She got too impatient and thought the match was over before it actually was. Shoko may have lost, but she is not discouraged. Her plan is to train harder than she ever has before and win this year's Princess Cup and gain #1 contendership for the title. She makes it all the way to the finals again, but her opponent is Tokyo Joshi's latest prospect, Yu. Yu joined Tokyo Joshi at the start of the year and has been undefeated in singles competition so far. Shoko is used to overcoming the odds in the Princess Cup. She defeated Nodoka and Akane last year, and hopes that Yu will be no different. But Yu isn't just a simple large opponent. She has experience in judo and is able to out-grapple Shoko. And Shoko's strikes are ineffective against Yu's conditioned body. Shoko manages to hit the 619 and the Northern Lights suplex, but Yu kicks out. Shoko, now desperate, attempts to get the win with quick roll-ups, but Yu still kicks out. Struggling in the hole, Shoko's hands slip, allowing Yu to lock in the armbar, Shoko needing to quickly tap before her arm is broken. Yu goes on to not only win the Princess Cup, but beats Miyu to become the second Princess of Princess champion. To set up Yu's next challenger, her #1 contenders match is announced. Shoko is one of the contenders. Her opponents are Akane, who Shoko beat to win last year's Princess Cup, and Miyu, who is determined to win so she can redeem her loss to Yu. Shoko manages to get the win, and so is able to once again challenge Yu for the Pop Championship at the January 4th show. It's been 1 year since Shoko last had a title opportunity, and it's against the person who beat her in last year's Princess Cup. And while she puts on an impressive fight, Shoko is still unable to defeat Yu. Shoko once again goes for the Princess Cup this year, only making it to the semi-finals. The momentum she had last year seems to be wearing off. She keeps falling short where it matters most. Her friend and partner Yuka also feels the same way, having lost the Princess Championship in her first defense. Tokyo Joshi is introducing a new Tag Championship belt. The two have worked together before and decided to enter the tournament together to see how far they could get. Their similar fast-paced, high-flying styles complement each other well. Eventually the two are in the finals of the tournament. Both together, they are able to cover for each other's shortcomings, making a devastating combination. Shoko and Yuka are crowned the first Princess Tag Champions. There is a lot of expectations as the first champions, and the two do everything they can to hold onto the titles. The two defeat powerful opponents from both inside the promotion and out, but unfortunately, an old enemy from Shoko's past appears. Sakisama, along with her latest thrall, Asa Christie, wants to challenge for the belt. Sakisama hasn't forgotten the embarrassment that Shoko dealt her all those years ago, and thus wishes to take the accomplishment Shoko worked so hard to get. Sakisama hides by saying she doesn't want to demean herself by challenging for the belts, and instead waits for the challenge to come from Shoko and Yuka instead. Asusa tosses 2 roses into the ring, and Shoko and Yuka agree to take on Neo Bishiki-gun. Shoko has fought Sakisama and won before, so she has a game plan going into this match, and Yuka's unpredictability make it a hard task for Asusa or Sakisama to keep her down for long. But Sakisama's strength is still a major factor, and her tandem offense with Asusa means isolating Bishiki-gun is the key to victory. Yuka attempts the magical girl splash, but Sakisama dodges. Shoko being preoccupied with fending off Asusa allows Sakisama to set up the Academy Award kick, which gives Bishiki-gun the victory. Sakisama is handed the belt, the one championship Shoko has ever held, the one she has worked so hard for with Yuka, and tosses it aside. Humiliating Shoko is far more desirable than some silly belt. As the rest of the year goes on, Shoko feels as though she is being left behind with everyone else. She has a poor showing in the 2018 Princess Cup, and loses in the finals of a tag tournament against Yuka and Mizuki. Yuka and Miyu are both on their second title reign, while Shoko can't even get out of the first round of the Princess Cup. Things reach a boiling point when, after teaming with Miyu in a tag match, she keeps hold of the hand holding the Princess of Princess Championship.
Champion. おめでとう。次、誰とそのベルト防衛戦するの？私とこの東京女子のベルトをかけてタイトルマッチをしろ！ 山下美優は私にとってはゴジラみたいなもんで、坂崎優香はモスラみたいなもんかな。中島翔子は四足歩行の地味な怪獣のアンギラスです。でも私はアンギラスの勝つところが見たいんです。5.3 コルクエンホール山下美優に挑んでアンギラスは勝ちます。中島翔子の逆襲を始めます。皆さん絶対に後楽園ホール見に来てください。
Over 3 years since her last Princess of Princess title opportunity, Shoko once again faces Miyu for the championship. Miyu has been on a legendary streak, holding the belt for over 450 days, with the most defenses in the belt's history, and even has a belt from another promotion. Shoko needs this win. She has been falling behind Miyu and Yuka, gradually but assuredly. She's reaching the point that if she can't win now, she may never get another opportunity like this again. In the closing moments of the match, Shoko dodges the Crash Rabbit Heat, withstands the Skull Kick, and counters another Crash Rabbit Heat. She hits the Northern Light Suplex, and making sure that she has the match won, powers through and delivers another for good measure. Shoko has finally accomplished her dream. It may have taken longer than expected, but now she is the top champion of Tokyo Joshi. She holds on to the belt, taking on the likes of Thunder Rosa 3 days after winning the belt, to Mizuki, that year's Princess Cup winner, and then Misao, making Shoko the only person at the time to beat Misao in her new form. Shoko is riding high and is able to debut for AEW in the summer, and back in Japan, DDT is preparing their biggest show ever, DDT Ultimate Party. Shoko will be defending her title belt at the event, and so wants a strong opponent to show off Tokyo Joshi to the rest of the world. She chooses her friend and former tag partner, Yuka Sakazaki. Shoko chose Yuka because she wants to have an exciting match. She loves wrestling and Tokyo Joshi, so wants to put on the best show possible. Her and Yuka have come a long way from where they are currently. Facing each other in cramped venues in front of just over 100 people, to being in an arena of thousands and travelling all over the world. Regardless of the outcome of the match, both of them are winners. Shoko's title reign may be over, but her time in Tokyo Joshi isn't. She is respected in the promotion and continues to put on exciting matches. Shoko continues to improve and learn, making excursions to other countries, gaining more skill and knowledge, and helping to promote Tokyo Joshi. Shoko may have had a tough challenge to finally win the Princess of Princess Championship, and she may have only held it for a few months, but like the kaiju she takes inspiration from, Shoko is indestructible. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being so patient with this episode. I'm doing my best to try to streamline the video making process so it doesn't take me over a month to make a video. I'd like to thank Jin and Otaku who helped me with the translation for this episode. You can find their YouTube channel in the description below. They do translations of VTubers, which I'm playing with the idea of making a video about the similarities between wrestling and VTubers, but that's still in the early brainstorming phase. I'd also like to thank all the people who have been subscribing and watching the videos. It really means a lot to me that this channel's been growing really quickly. And I'd also like to make a big thank you to Toho and Legendary Pictures for not copyright striking this video. Please don't copyright strike this video. Anyway, thank you all again so much for watching. Ta-ta.